This is Malick's Musings going live via video thanks to two of our members who donated a lovely computer to the church office. I'm taking a step into getting my voice out in a new way. So this week, when I've been pondering over the lectionary, which is from the Gospel of John, where Mary anoints Jesus' feet with a costly perfume, I can't help but also wax philosophical about the new election of our Pope. And you might be wondering what Mary anointing Jesus' feet has anything to do with the Pope. But I think the line that keeps catching me up is where Judas actually talks about how can we spend so much money on this lavish perfume when we know that we have the poor? And then Jesus quips back that you will always have the poor with you, but you won't always have me. Now, for those of us who know the story, of course, you can say, well, Mary is anointing Jesus pre his death. Lazarus has just been raised from the dead, and you can go in and do all of this kind of research and talk about how this is foreshadowing, and the author and the community know the end of the story, and so they're trying to create a momentum and build up to what is going to happen. And look at Mary, she actually gets who Jesus is. Jesus is Son of God. And I have to be honest, there's a part of me in 21st century America that goes, I don't care about that. I look and see our world and our country and the challenge of young people living in poverty, of people in their 20s having an over 20% joblessness record. I look at countries around the world and the developing nation where people are living on $2 a day, and I think about how people have used a passage like this one to, in my mind, justify their own lavish lifestyles. So I've really been wrestling with this text this week, and then along comes the election of this new pope, and of course there's been a lot of talk in the media about the fancy adornments that the pope traditionally wears, and his ring and robe, and of course the infamous Pope Mobile. And this new pope, Pope Francis, when he was in ministry in Argentina, was known to live simply, to take the bus to work even, and do things for himself and not live as lavishly. And so I'm wondering what that's going to mean for the Vatican, and does living a more simple life mean that you are not following along with this commandment? Or in any case, is Mary really doing this excessive and extravagant thing that we think of, or that I think of, when I think of kind of the consumerist branding society in which we live? And to be honest, as I sat with this text this week prior to the election of the Pope, and kind of my wondering where all of that's going to go from a social justice perspective for hunger and poverty issues, I thought, this woman is not somebody who's living large and above her means, and she is giving back freely and fully of herself and what she has, and she's doing so maybe almost in a stewardship sense. And I think where I come to with that is, I come from good farming stock in the Midwest, and from people who had a chicken hatchery here on the East Coast. And so we're good coupon clippers and savers and finding the best deal, and that is something to be very proud of, finding the best deal. But what I haven't always spent a lot of time thinking about is, if I'm getting the best deal, what does that mean for the person from whom I'm purchasing, or the many hands and people that were part of getting this product to me? And in the last year, working on being more mindful of where I buy, especially food, and I must admit, I find myself often thinking thoughts like, well, this is so expensive, and I think I catch myself up in kind of the same sentiment that I hear in the passage with Judas talking about the poor always being, or not the poor always being with us, excuse me, about, being careful about where you spend your money. And I have to say, being careful in spending my money has meant that I'm often spending more money for food, household products, and sometimes clothing as well, than I would have before when I was really in my save, save, save mindset. And it has meant budgeting differently, thinking differently, and all of those things. But I wonder if that's kind of what Jesus is talking about, and about what Mary is showing about kind of giving from this place of love and participating in a system that might create more equality in how we're using our money and in how we spend our resources. That's just my thinking on this. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.